Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're at the Jordan Valley Conservation Park. It's in January. It's really cold right now. My hands are freezing. It's in the low 30s, maybe the upper 20s. And I wanted to highlight some of the things you need to think about when planning for winter planting. Now, it's really not time to plant right now, but planting season is coming up soon. People should be thinking about their designs, thinking about what they want to plant. And I wanted to show you some of the plants that I love that really do good for winter interest. So one of the first things that I wanted to show you is this beautiful blue hedge of globe blue spruce, Picea pungens, and an absolutely gorgeous weeping cherry. Actually, no, this isn't a weeping cherry. If you look at it, look at the branches, see how they have a zigzag pattern? That's the hallmark of a redbud. This is a weeping redbud. Look how gorgeous that structure is, along with the blue of the blue spruce. So evergreens and structured pruning, structured branching is a great way to provide winter interest. So let's go inside and see what else we can find. Now here's something else that can provide winter interest. Now they're not planted up right now. Actually, I was just talking to Corey Collins here at the Conservation Garden Park, and she says she's tried to remove the decorations out of here, but they're frozen into the pot. But pots, look at the gorgeous colors on these pots and the wonderful way they're arranged. Pots can provide wonderful winter interest even when they're not planted up. Now here's something else that I love for winter interest, and that is grasses. This one right here is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to have to put some in my landscape. This is the Blonde Ambition blue grama grass, and look how gorgeous it is with the light flowing through it, the wind blowing through it. It gives a lot of texture and winter interest. This one right here is the old standby blue oak grass, and it also gives texture. It's kind of lost its signature blue color for the winter, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Now even when the snow comes and smashes these down, they will still give winter interest, and they'll pop right back up once the snow melts. Then all you need to do is when the spring comes, just cut them back and be ready for another beautiful show. Another excellent plant for winter interest is Mahonia. This is the creeping variety. And look at the gorgeous leaves. Look at the colors as the sun shines through them. And then in the spring, we're going to have these gorgeous yellow flowers. You can see the buds right there. So look at this area. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at all the colors. Everything here is semi-evergreen, even the perennials. So we've got a little kind of, that's probably a mugo pine of some sort. Big tuna mugo pine, stays really small. I've got my favorite Bergarten sage, semi-evergreen. Well, semi-evergray, I guess we should say. Then I absolutely love the partridge feather. It gives yellow flowers in the spring, but look at the glory in the winter. And then we have some sort of spurge. I'm not sure what variety this is. It's definitely not the invasive one. It's an ornamental spurge. And look at the color contrasts in here. We've got a Jerusalem sage, another variety of sage, and the little dianthus. Makes an absolutely gorgeous winter landscape. And in the back, we've probably got the Helmand pillar barberries. So that's barberry that's dormant, but look at the structure that that provides in the background. I think this is a really good display for winter. Look at the colors and the textures here. We've got the Karsten's Gold mugo pine. We've got our fine line buckthorn. And then contrast that with the globe blue spruce. And then all the perennials that have not been cut back. I really like the way this looks. Now lavender is another plant that a lot of people don't think about as being good for winter interest. But as you can see, it is evergreen, or evergray I should say. One thing you need to do for sure is cut back the flower stalks. It just makes it look a little more neat and tidy. Now here's one that I have at my house, and it's one of my favorite trees. This is the weeping Norway spruce. And look at the texture and the form that that has. Imagine this surrounded by snow. Actually, I did do a little video, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in the snow in just a little bit. Weeping Norway spruce. So weeping evergreens can also make a beautiful statement in the landscape in the winter. Now here's an area that has a lot of different design elements that provide really good winter interest. First one that you see right here is the contorted filibert, and I really love the structure of it, and it really shines in the wintertime. You can see the contorted bark, and it's a really good focal point leading to this arbor. So hardscape also provides winter interest. Climbing on the arbor is the strong muscular wisteria, which also provides winter interest. And your pergola right here opens up to the view of the lawn. Now, most people don't think of lawn as winter interest, but lawn can be really great winter interest. It gives a place for your eye to rest, and it can also lead your eye to focal points like this absolutely gorgeous weeping blue atlas cedar. So here's an example of a good winter design. Now here's another tree that gives all-around interest, even in the winter, and this is a crabapple. I'm not sure what variety this is, but as you can see, we've got the gorgeous little fruits dangling like ornaments. And when they're pruned properly, they have a beautiful structure. So these provide absolutely beautiful winter interest, and they're great for the birds too. The birds love to eat the fruit. Now another great one for winter interest is dogwood. One thing you need to do to make sure you continue to have these gorgeous red stems is to cut it back in the spring or fall. So it's the newer stems that get the most brilliant color, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So you just take the oldest stems, the oldest, thickest stems, and cut those to the ground. Then you'll have a continuous supply of the gorgeous red stems. So now that we've seen several of the plants that they have here in the Conservation Garden Park that can be used for winter interest, let me take you back to December at my house and show you what my house looks like when there's a ton of snow on the ground, and show you what I've planted for some winter interest. Now, in planting for winter interest, one of the first things you really need to think about is snow if you live in a snowy climate. So what is your landscape going to look like with piles of fluffy snow all over it? Is it going to be a white wasteland, or are there going to be plants that are of interest when snow is laying on them? So let's look at my landscape while there's snow on it and see what I've done for winter interest in the snowy months. Now, one of the first things you need to think about when planting for winter interest is how many conifers do you have? I think snow is absolutely gorgeous when it's piled on top of conifers. It's one of the main reasons that I planted these globe blue spruce that are on a standard. I think they look like cupcakes, frosted cupcakes, and they're absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorites in the winter is my weeping blue spruce. I absolutely love how it looks with snow on it. Now, another thing you need to think about when planting landscapes in winter areas where there's a lot of snow is, what are you going to do about snow removal? I just had the pleasure of shoveling this nice fluffy white snow, and this is the spot where I always pile it. It's the most convenient for my driveway and for this part of the sidewalk. And I try not to put any plants that will be crushed by the snow right there. I also am very careful because snow gets brushed off cars onto the side of this bed, and I want to make sure there's nothing there that's going to get crushed. We just barely had the snowplow go by. He went by too fast for me to video him. But as you can kind of see, he has spread salt along the road. And that sprays or gets shoveled into my landscape. So I need to be careful that anything around the edges that are going to get snow shoveled from the road onto the plants, that they are salt tolerant. Make sure to plant a few plants that will have berries hanging on them over the winter. The berries give a lot of added interest. This is my service berry. A lot of the berries didn't get picked, and they're just like dangling ornaments. So thank you for coming along with me on this adventure. I really enjoyed visiting the Conservation Garden Park. They're here in South Jordan in Utah and have a lot of wonderful displays and where you can get a ton of ideas. So now hopefully you have a better idea of what you can plant for the winter. There's a lot more plants than the ones that I showcased. Just look for color, texture, form, something that will stand out in the winter. You don't want a moonscape in the winter. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have liked this video, please like and subscribe and go have a wonderful garden adventure.